Songs, Secrets and Magic. Welcome back. I'm Ezra Dixon and today's song is Chicago, You're the Inspiration. Now, I've wanted to talk about this track for a while because of how beautifully the chords move. It's a real masterclass in how to kind of step around and dance through keys. And I think straight off the bat, if I'm not mistaken, we're dealing with three key signatures in balance with each other. It's so well done. I listened to this song in the car with my girlfriend Lucy, and I was listening to it with my dad the other day, and I said to him, I was like, how big was this song? Because it always shocks me when you listen back to these tracks, these huge 70s and 80s tracks. It always shocks me that there was a time when music like this just dominated, and he was like, it was huge, it was everywhere. And I was just listening to it now in bed, trying to work out what was going on the guitar, and it was refreshing to kind of be stumped here and there. It's so good. But yeah, I believe it deals with three main key signatures throughout, and so it begins with this beautiful rock music magic. And then the bass leading with that C natural, creating a first inversion of this A flat, and the guitar riffs and the bass. And then we end up now, we have a 1, 4, 5 progression in A flat. And we get up to this lovely E flat. Our love was meant to be the kind of love that lasts forever. Something magical happens when we reach this E flat. Another example of tertiary modulation. Throughout the series so far, this is episode 6. We've looked at 6 great songs. And tertiary modulation is absolutely one of the magic ingredients to unique and brilliant songs, because it's like a powerful transition that happens so naturally. It's just bizarre. Nothing should work about that, but it just works perfectly. You could make a load of arguments to say why. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to an abstract reason, because music is abstract. Music is not a science. It is not. It's not like maths. It's art, and so it's always up for debate. It's always open to interpretation. But the way I see it, this fifth degree here, E flat, is the major third of B. So there's a potential in registering this degree, this stop along the musical train on E flat. There's potential for your brain to interpret that degree, that E flat, as a third. It exists as potential for your brain to understand the transition. So we start off with a beautiful textbook chord progression, and then we just step right into another one. And so we've got our first degree and then our third degree in E flat minor. It's cool because we were just on E flat major, and then we step immediately back to E flat as a minor. You know, again, parallel major and minor. It's another bit of secret sauce for you there. Another bit of another magical ingredient that seems to crop up in these brilliant songs a lot. You know, and again, this is not set in stone. This is not, you know, there is no, you know, you could argue the definition of a parallel major or parallel minor effect all you want. You know, you've got E flat major, B, E flat minor. You know, the essence of E flat major is lingering. Is lingering. It's still there. You know, music's so strange. It's kind of like you can interpret the same moment of music differently based on how you registered it and how you were paying attention to it. And I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time. You should know everywhere I go. It's got some magic right there. It's a 5-1, a perfect cadence, but we're leading. It's a second inversion perfect cadence, which means that along the inversion chain we're leading with our C sharp. Now that's cool because it's the second degree of B. So it's kind of like a 2-5-1 essence lingering within that. It's like a fusion. It's like a 2-5-1 essence. You should know. And then everywhere I go, you're always on my mind. Here we go. In my heart, in my soul. This is what I'm talking about. The manoeuvring, the beautiful manoeuvring. You should know. So we've got our lovely 2-5-1 sort of effect. I don't even know what's going on here. We go from our B, our tonal centre. So it's to a fourth degree that leads with its third. You know, call it whatever you want. To an A suspended 2. And then that classic dominant third degree. And here's where the real magic happens. How did we get to E flat? How did we get to E flat? So now we're on our relative minor of our key signature. We come to a it's a movement of chords. It's a movement of chords that sets up this opportunity for it to keep growing. You know, there's a sequence here. Like another chromatic movement. You know, there's parallels here. You look at these amazing songs, you know, like we've been doing, and then there's these parallels. You know, it's moving like the Kansas track. You know, it throws everything off all logical sense. to bring you out somewhere else. It's kind of what the brain's thinking, you know. And then you're creating new dominants to transition to new tonics. And what I mean by that is you're creating new fifths to transition to new places. You're setting up devices with multiple functions, multiple potential functions, and one of the classic ones is you land on a dominant, and you can find your way home anywhere. It's beautiful movement. It's beautiful movement. You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. And then I mean, it's just everywhere. This song is everywhere. You can't keep up with it. It's crazy. And then another tertiary modulation. And what's going on here, which is cool, is it's a simple trick. You know, you got the bass lingering on F sharp. You got an F sharp, a C sharp chord with the bass lingering, a B chord with the bass lingering, and then a B, you know. And then no one needs you more than I need you. And we're back. Somehow we're back. Just listen to that. I just want you to listen to that once more. Somehow and we're back at that same idea from the start, only this time we're not in A flat, we're in B. Now, there's a lot going on in this song. There's a lot to talk about, and we don't want this to become overbearing or overly technical, and it's very easy to get overly technical in a song like this. It's very easy to get overly technical in a lot of songs, but what's going on in the moment? What is going on in the moment? Don't think about where something belongs in the overall key. Stop trying to justify when there's nothing to justify. You've got a song that essentially makes use of the key signature rules. It makes it makes use of the key signature rules. And then it bends them to shapeshift into different places, making use of the key signature rules. And this is an incredible pop song. I think you should go and listen to it. I think you should get your headphones out. I think you should go and listen to it because it is so good. It's such a brilliant song. Everything about it, the way it moves, the way it dances, the way it steps around, and we could talk about some other aspects of the song. Obviously, the musicianship's insanely good. The singing is insanely good. The vocal harmonies are insanely good. You've got these effects. Just these triad effects in the vocals. This video could go on for way too long because there's just so much to talk about here, you know. I think it differs from the Kansas song in the sense that there's some real amazing use of modulation, and I think the Kansas song is more of a creative force. And for those of you who listen to it will know what I mean. It's more experimental, it's more imaginative, the textures, it takes more on board. But as far as a popular song can go, a pop rock song, it does not get better than this. It does not get better than this. Go and listen to it. Songs, Secrets, Magic. Ezra Nixon, Chicago. You're the inspiration. Go listen to it.